I will do everything that I can to make sure that you have good jobs with rising incomes, that your kids have good educations from preschool through college. I hope you will give me a chance to serve as your president.
There's another promise that is deeply important to me, and I know it is deeply important to you. We are going to put our coal miners back to work.
Our inner cities are a disaster. You get shot walking to the store. They have no education. They have no jobs.
When it comes to the wall that Donald talks about building, he went to Mexico. He had a meeting with the Mexican president. Didn't even raise it. He choked.
We need strong borders. In the audience tonight, we have 4 mothers whose children have been killed, brutally killed by people that came into the country illegally.
I have been for border security for years. I voted for border security in the United States Senate.
They're coming in illegally. Drugs are pouring in through the border. We have no country if we have no border.
This is a Fox News election alert. Pennsylvania goes to Donald Trump. Donald J. Trump is the president of the United States elect. He won't be inaugurated until January, but the word has just reached the New York Hilton. Donald J. Trump, the son of a Queens millionaire, defied all conventional wisdom and all expectations.
What a great honor to be able to introduce for the first time ever anywhere the 45th President of the United States of America, Donald J. Trump.
January 20th, 2017 will be remembered as the day the people became the rulers of this nation again. The forgotten men and women of our country will be forgotten no longer. Everyone is listening to you now. Listening to you now. Listening to you now. Listening to you now.
On November 5th, 2008, Barack Obama became the 44th President of the United States. On November 6, 2012, he was re-elected to serve again as president. Citizens went from having Obama in office for 8 years to preparing for the 2016 presidential candidates. And on November 9, 2016, President Trump was elected as the 45th President of the United States.
Since the conception of this nation, people of color, women, people who aren't from America, who move here, we've had to fight for our rights, since the beginning.
On January 20th, students at the University of Alabama at Birmingham gathered together to watch the 2017 presidential inauguration. Both parties were represented at this gathering. Students gave their opinions and concerns of their newly elected president and thoughts after watching the inauguration. All those interviewed are students and faculty at UAB.
I wasn't a Trump supporter, but I do hope he does better. And honestly, I kind of hope that most of the stuff he was saying, like the offensive stuff, the outlandish stuff, I kind of just hope that was just like a ploy to get media to talk about him. And I hope he really just does the complete opposite and just like shocks everybody, because why would you want your president to do bad? Like, it's gonna affect you.
Just the overall tone, like when you would look at videos from a lot of his rallies and how people acted, and that's scary.
He's not really one for anyone that has differences. He doesn't really care to relate, even though his wife is not American. Majority of people, we all come from a melting pot. We all have different foreign backgrounds within different cultures that make up America. So for you to say that you're going to take out people that's not from this country, deport everyone, then there's not going to be anyone left in America, but actually the Native Americans.
I think it's going to be a good thing to see these changes. There will be changes to come, and I'm just hopeful to see the environment in the United States turn from this very turmoil, very divided state that we have right now, hopefully to unify each other and recognize that we are all Americans. Quit calling each other names, quit dividing each other, and actually have a great conversation, come in and talk to each other and realize that we all want the same goal, which is for a better America. We just want it in different ways.
We are also taking strong measures to protect our nation from radical Islamic terrorism. We cannot allow a beachhead of terrorism to form inside America. We cannot allow our nation to become a sanctuary for extremists. That is why my administration has been working on improved vetting procedures, and we will shortly take new steps to keep our nation safe and to keep those out who will do us harm.
For the past 8 years, we got a little used to someone in the highest office speaking to our concerns, you know, if not always acting on them, he spoke about it. And he put people around him, President Obama, people who spoke on our concerns and things like that. So my concern is that we will no longer have that for the next 4 years.
We as foreigners expect American leaders to be the best in the world, and the new face does not really satisfy that expectation.
An immigration ban was barred for 90 days from 7 Muslim countries from entering it into the United States. It also barred all refugees for 120 days, and Syrian refugees. Later on, Iraq was removed from the 7 targeted countries. This caused disruption around the nation, causing a big uproar. UAB has a very diverse student population of many ethnic backgrounds. This immigration affected students and raised many concerns. It also caused UAB administration to get involved and release a statement.
Donald Trump, as he's taken office, his administration has brought, some policies that are alienating and causing fear amongst not only Muslims, but a lot of minority populations in the United States. And it's not looking very optimistic, but in the United States, we do have a system of checks and balances, and we know that at the end of the day, that there's going to be justice, and hopefully the majority of the nation can realize what's right and what's wrong.
The whole thing about the travel ban, I liked the idea. It got pushed out a little too early. I can't wait for the next one to come out. To me, I feel like it was a great idea. It just got hit by a lot of opposition.
Yeah, I think it's very naive to say it's not a Muslim ban, right? It's a ban just because I know people quote the stat, there are 40 other countries that have that are Muslim majority, but that's not an issue. It's not an issue of whether we're banning all Muslims. We're banning Muslims from specific countries that we quote unquote think have terrorists.
The entire thing with the immigration ban, we have to remember that Obama placed an immigration ban as well. The first thing that Trump wants to do with the immigration ban is, first of all, secure safety for American civilians, and secure safety so that the American citizen can go to bed at night and lock their door and not have to worry about anything.
They're giving preference to Christian refugees over Muslim refugees, and whether or not Trump admits it directly that it is a Muslim ban, there is underlying context that it is affecting Muslims.
He's telling people that they don't belong in the United States. More than that, he's expanding the power of his office.
He actually said before he was elected that he was going to, have a complete shutdown of Muslims entering the U.S. So this is just the manifestation of his words.
There's still rules, and there's still rules we have to uphold by now in this new technological world and everything like that. And the first reason that he did it was for safety. And so safety always comes first. And as an American citizen, and of course you an American citizen as well, I think safety is always on the mind of Trump, and that's why we see this immigration ban.
I think this is where a lot of people, when they called it the Muslim ban, it was completely false. Because, still, 8 out of 10 Muslims could still enter this country. It only affected 13% of the entire Muslim population.
I think, again, it's naive to act like Islamophobia started when Donald Trump got on the campaign trail. That's ridiculous. It's just like it's ridiculous to say that racism started when Donald Trump got on the campaign trail.
I don't think this man gives one flipping crap about your skin color and anything at all. The cries of racism being, oh, he's against Muslims and everything like that. No, I don't think he's against Muslims. I think he's against terrorism. And there's a big difference. I just don't buy it. When you just call the man racist and sexist, I don't see it.
But then, after seeing so many people protesting against this ban, it gave me a sense of relief that the people in this country won't let the president affect people in such a bad way.
Muslims are 95% of ISIS's targets. A lot of people say we're just trying to keep our country safe, we're just trying to protect ourselves, to put America first, but you're not really putting America first if you're denying the rights of refugees, of immigrants, of people who did nothing but choose a religion that is different than your own.
If he has more power than the presidents have had in the past, and he has these views that marginalize a lot of folks, that's concerning for a lot of groups, for groups in academia, for people of color, for groups of particular religions, obviously especially Muslims, for immigrants, right? Everything he's done has gone towards marginalization, and that's obviously a very concerning trend.
So I would love to have a nice little stoppage to the immigration for a bit and say, hey, we're having a lot of trouble here in the U.S. We're hard. It's hard for us to get us under control. We're as divided as ever. So why don't we just control ourselves, help ourselves out, and then we'll go, all right, then we'll deal with you.
The last thing I want is to not be able to come here after a vacation in my country. So if during my studies I'm not able to enter the United States again, that would be the worst thing.
We're dealing with a guy who just wants to go down as the greatest president of all time. I don't think he's going to be anywhere near it. I don't even think he's going to be the best president in the last 50 years. I just think he was a better option, which is why I fully supported him.
But I think it's a little tough to judge him this early in the presidency, considering that we still have 3.5 years left of President Trump. So it'll be very interesting to see if he continues to live up to what he promised us in those primaries, in the running in November 8th, what he promised us on the inauguration speech and things like that.
I think we can just build forward, and it can, I guess, hopefully only get better from here, but we'll see.
Initially, UAB was complacent in the response. We see that UAB does deeply care about its international students' its diverse community.
I think it's really important to show genuine institutional support, and I know we go back to this idea that these resources are in place, but that's not comforting. Frequently we got to this idea that we have to be inclusive of all opinions, and I want to challenge that, because to what extent can you be inclusive in an opinion that marginalizes students without actually marginalizing students yourself? At that point, you're a culprit, right? You think back to Desmond Tutu's quote, if you're silent in situations of injustice, you've taken the side of the oppressor, right? And I think the institution as a whole has fell into that. It would be naive for institutions to say, we're segregating our university because people on our university believe we should be segregated. We need to include their opinions. Well, that opinion marginalizes other students. So you're participating in that marginalization by including the opinion.
President Trump's travel ban was blocked. A federal appeal court ruled that citizens of 7 majority Muslim countries will continue to be able to travel to the United States. Today, there still has been many actions by President Trump that raises many questions. Early in January of this year, President Trump ordered the Mexican border wall be built to crack down on illegal immigration. Early in March, the budget proposal was released, which cut the Pell Grant program by $3.9 billion, as well as Medicare and Social Security. Not long into presidency, Trump fired Acting Attorney General Sally Yates for refusing to enforce a legal order designed to protect the citizens of the United States. Yates was nominated by President Obama in 2010. During her time as U.S. Attorney, she was later appointed by Attorney Eric Holder as Vice Chair of the Attorney General's Advisory Committee. Beginning of March of 2017, the FBI started investigating the relationship between President Trump's advisors and Russia to see if those ties played a role in Moscow's efforts to interfere with the 2016 U.S. election. The White House charges that it was Rice who may have abused her power as President Obama's national security advisor and effectively snooped on Trump's presidential transition. They suggest that it was Rice who may have leaked classified details from the surveillance to the press. And in doing so, Trump believes she might have committed a crime. Rice denied any improper behavior of leaking any information while working in the White House. Michael Flynn, the National Security Advisor, resigned after it was revealed that he had misled Vice President Mike Pence and other White House officials about his conversation with the Russian ambassador to the United States. President Trump encouraged former top aide Michael Flynn to offer testimony to investigators in exchange for immunity from possible persecution. President Donald Trump suffered a stunning political setback in Congress controlled by his own party when his Replacement Health Care Act was not passed. This act would have replaced the Affordable Care Act that President Obama put in place.
Tonight I ordered a targeted military strike on the airfield in Syria from where the chemical attack was launched. It is in this vital national security interest of the United States to prevent and deter the spread and use of deadly chemical weapons.